Alrighty, gang, welcome back. Welcome back. My name is KillerGinja1, and today we are continuing our Legions of Nagash Total War Warhammer 3 Let's Play. Where we left off, we were currently in the throngs of taking revenge on the dirty, stinky, evil Wood Elves. And we are going to see how well we do. Let us get right back into it. I'll see you all on the battle map. Alrighty, so this
Today we do Nagash's work.
Oh.
Slay them all.
okay. Archon wants to slay them all. I was a little bit verbose with my placement of the Endless Tomb, and it turned into quite the waste. I didn't understand that they could attack it, so that's the end of that guy. But our army is slowly marching in. Archon himself is going to start trying to chase down those horse archers and archers in general. He's going to summon a unit of skeletons to run screening attacks for him. This is a very annoying battle because the enemy is just a bunch of skirmishers and archer units. They are going to be doing their dangdest to put our skeletons back in the ground, but we're not going to let them. Meanwhile, Archon is going to be chasing those archers a lot. They are... oh, I absolutely despise those guys. They're so annoying. But our troops are slowly marching up. I'm going to cross the clearing as quickly as possible. We want to tie up as many of their archer units as we can so that they don't just tear us apart. We're going to use our zombies to absorb most of their shots, but look at that damage so far. One volley in and they're already a fifth of the way down in health. Our arrow boys are going to be launching their own salvos, but what we did not see hiding in the forest is these stag riders here, these wild riders with shields. And these guys are ferocious. Look at that charge. Even brace, they just fling our boys down the mountainside and they're breaking through our formation. We're going to try and focus fire on those as much as possible. Absolutely slaughtering. There's an absolute slaughter going on. We already have units falling apart. These Wildwood Rangers with dual hands. The Undead Tomb kind of terraformed the terrain there and made a little goofy looking thing. And this is what I was afraid of. Their Wild Riders getting in the back, absolutely slaughtering our archers. We're going to try and focus down on them while they just cycle charge us. We got a Purple Son of Xeres there popped in on those units, helping Archon as much as possible. We popped his health potion already. He's taken a severe amount of damage. Very close to dying in this battle. Those Wildwood Riders are extremely tanky, very much so. They have little to no armor, so a ranged army would probably fare better against these boys. But their archers are just having a field day. Shooting at us, just tearing us to pieces. Our Neferatta warriors there getting in and doing their little tumble twirls, having a good old time. Look at that. And yes, our archers are pretty much annihilated. Those Wild Riders doing the Lord's work right there, just shredding our undead archers apart. And they're very small units too. Imagine if that unit was full strength. He could probably wipe this archer unit out in one charge if he wanted to. Our archers, meanwhile, trying to get rid of their one unit of horse archers. They're fleeing the battlefield, but the rest of their archer units are still in. Archon just killed their lord. He is trying to target their largest units of archers and do as much damage as he can to them on his Morgai Beast, I believe is what it's called. But flying units in this game are not very good at pursuit. They just like to bounce like a trampoline up and down, especially if the enemy is running away from you. They've got a long way to go before flying units are a viable pursuit unit. Wish we had a few horse units in this army. We've wrapped up a lot of their Wild Riders, and we're starting to pool our units together, chase down some of their arrows. Just try and keep them running, keep them from shooting us. I don't believe... Oh, these guys can fire while moving, too. That's kind of crazy. I don't fight the Wood Elves very often. I try and avoid it, because heavy skirmish armies are just a bit of a headache to me. Our units over here on the right flank are done. They are surrendering now. Getting rear charged by those elves. We're slowly bringing them down when they pull out, but they're just tearing us a new one here. All of our forces, the leadership of this campaign has plagued us all the way since turn 1, and we are feeling it here. A lot of units already disintegrating on this battlefield. We folded up the right flank. We're going to keep pushing on to the left. Fortunately for us, most of the enemy's archer units are out of ammunition. Doing our best to soak up as much damage as we can while surrounding the enemy on all sides, just dragging them down. But they're still fighting tooth and nail to keep us from winning. They're focusing on Archon. All their archer units are firing on Archon as he's trying to chase unit after unit around. Very dangerous. Already down to half health. Hopefully he can hold this withering volley long enough to do enough damage to cause all these boys to run away. This is their second retreat, so after this battle they are gone, except for one lord on the map. But I mean, look at it. If this was a full-strength army, we wouldn't have stood a chance. They would have just absolutely reamed us. And we're barely winning right now against their weakened state. Very dangerous indeed. You know, on a scale from 1 to torture, I think that seat that Archon's riding on is about as uncomfortable as you can get. Not a whole lot of lumbar support, but fortunately Archon himself has like regeneration, so he can keep his spinal column aligned properly on flight. But look at the little guy right there, covered in blood, having a fun time shredding those archer units. But Archon is not. He's down to his last 2,400 HP there, just getting pin-cushioned. We're lucky that most of their units are out of ammunition. We've rounded up the majority of our remaining horde. They're going to run to their liege and try and focus down the remaining few archers that still have arrows. Meanwhile, the rest of their units are retreating now. We've summoned in another unit of skeletons. These summoned units have been the linchpin to this whole assault here. If we didn't have an extra unit of fully able-bodied skeletons, we probably would have lost this battle. But fortunately, the enemy does not want to stick around. They are absolutely terrified. And with that, that is the end of the Kurnos Hunters and their plight on the campaign map. Stay tuned. Alrighty, gang, that was a absolutely brutal first engagement. Definitely trying to shake the cobwebs off there. Was not my best performance. Those bowmen were absolutely lethal, and the cavalry charges, we just had nothing to answer for that. But we made it. We made it. We got a few cool banners to use. Archon nearly died, which would have been terrifying. I think for right now, we are going to give him even more gold. We need to boost our income up by a lot. But fortunately, with that, the main army stack of those undead is destroyed. They have one general left. We're going to try and chase him down with Manfred next turn. Get him, get those guys off our front lawn, hopefully. We're going to recruit a bunch of chaff. We're going to land in Qatar. Numos, unfortunately, has been destroyed again. The Clan Scryer and the Bloody Hands Orc tribe are just beating the crap out of each other in the desert to the left. We have to start fighting Skarbarand. Do we have any more movement? We do not. Let's check our armies real quick. Umar Helstein, you're just chilling. Genevieve,
Sire.
you can move north. Let's keep moving you to Sylvania to unlock
Yes.
Vlad
Neferatta
von
was
Karstein.
right.
We want to do our best. It looks like Vladdy Boy has done a absolute metric ton of work over here in this region of the world. We're going to see how well he does. But right now, we're going to end turn. We're going to see what happens. And hopefully... Oh! And there we go. Skarbarand has decided to attack. He isn't attacking us. Nagash's reinforcements. He's attacking the settlement beside us. Curious choice. Let's see if the garrison can hold out while Nagash's legion marches towards them. I will see you all on the battle map for Gorgazan. Alrighty, gang. So I've tried this battle a handful of times, and unfortunately the reinforcement timer for us is just way too long. And there's going to be a little battle bug that I'm not sure was entirely intended that's going to keep us from using our full potential. So the strategy here is to hold this gatehouse as long as possible, so that way Nagash and his forces have a opportunity to enter the settlement. We're going to see how well that works here. Currently, you can go away anytime you want, NVIDIA. We'll see. Currently, we are bombarding the enemy. Skarbarand has his army split into two, one on the northwest side of the settlement, one on the southeast side of the settlement. Skarbarand himself is attacking the gatehouse. This being a siege defense, it's only the base towers, so hopefully we don't get a desync, but we will see. The enemy, of course, is going to scale the walls as quickly as possible. And we're going to try and hold as long as we can. I found out in the very first iteration of this battle that it's very quick if you're not careful. And the enemy will sack the city and take it very quickly indeed. But for right now, the enemy is scaling the walls. Our garrison is going to try and do what they can against them. But being Khorne is the pinnacle melee faction, we're going to have a hard time ahead of us. We got Bloodletters on the left attacking our spearmen, Forsaken on the right attacking our swordsmen. Our archers are going to start turning now to bombard the enemy as they land. We have a unit of ghosts now. Karen Ray is trying to hold the gatehouse along with those bone warriors, bone golems. Our reinforcements have arrived. Aphostos and Hans Lambda are going to fly in. Of course, we have to phase through existence now. Steinberg von Deal, Nagash himself, all of these units. Our bone throwers are not going to be useful in this battle. We're going to leave them in the rocks. Teleportation be damned. We're gonna have a hard time in this battle, as you can see. Skarbarand has got bored kicking in the gate on the left side, so he's gonna come over here to the right side. He's just gonna waddle his way over here. Grand old time. What I forget what you call that with the two different types of eyes. I want to think hypochondriac, but that's not it at all. Meanwhile, Skarbarand, tailless Skarbarand, wingless Skarbarand is going to march over here. The gates are going to get battered down, but they're not going to get destroyed, which is a very key detail in this battle. The Khornate soldiers have already flooded the walls, overwhelmed the garrison. We are currently putting up blocker barricades to hold the enemy back as much as possible, as long as possible. If we lose this settlement, it's not going to be consequential, but we want to keep Skarbarand pinned here. We want to do as much damage, because if he can just break out and attack our underbelly of our empire like he has been doing, it's just going to be an absolute headache. Our troops are running as quickly as they can. Aphostos, Hans Lambda, Steinberg von Dio, Nagash, and Snippy are taking the fore. Our undead units of Nagash Guard and Bone Golems are going to take their sweet time marching out of this cavern right here. It's a very cinematic entrance, but unfortunately, every time I fought this battle on this battle map, our forces have arrived in this little cavern. I tried once during this siege to move it over here to inside the settlement, but that adds 5 minutes onto the timer, and that's just impossible. We lose the battle before it even starts. Hans Lambda now is going to focus down Korn. We're going to try and kill Skarbarand as quickly as possible now. Smack him in the ankles and get a wallop in the head in return. He's going to send his doggos to support. Ophostos, or Hans Lambda, is not deterred. Ophostos' brother has come in now. Now it's a real party here. Doing the jiggy. Doing the duel. Gonna start smacking each other around like it's 1989. The settlement has been taken. The gates have been closed on us. Unfortunately, here's the part that's annoying. Because this is our settlement, we can't break down our own gates. And so we have to wait for our foot troops, because our flyers won't be able to take anything because of the way CA programmed it. And our foot troops, which have a speed of 30, are going to take their sweet time marching to the gate as quickly as possible. We tag teamed Skarbarand, and now he is returning to the hole he came out of. Steinberg von Deal, as you can see, I tried to command him to break down the gates, but because they are our gates, we cannot destroy them, so we are stuck. The only units able to sally into the settlement and provide support is going to be Hans Lambda and Ophostos. And they're going to do what they do best. They're going to tear apart these Forsaken. The Cornate troops are going to start moving in as much as they can. They're going to take this key location here. We're saving up our defensive supplies. We built a tier 4 tower to try and do as much damage as we can to the enemy. Meanwhile, the enemy is sending in marauders to attack our barricade. Try and tear it down. If they capture this key point, the settlement is lost, and we're going to try and hold on to that as long as possible. While the rest of the army slowly trudges in, undead not being the fastest of armies to reinforce. This is where we find out very quickly that we cannot retake our settlement. Our objective has failed. Skarbarand has now locked us out of our own settlement at the cost of his own life. Ophostos and Hans Lambda are going to sit back real quick. We're going to have them heal up on Nagash before they go back into the settlement. We're going to hopefully get a unit up here very quickly. Skeleton Reapers have the highest amount of speed out of all of our column. You can already see right now, just from the running, from that point over there in the corner to here, our units are already fading. So they're just exhausted before they even reach the battle. But we're going to keep forcing the undead to march on, trudge on. Somehow, Varian the Grim, the slowest of our army, is keeping pace with this undead column. We're going to see if they can get close enough before we have to deal with it. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close. Meanwhile, the barricades have been set up. We are currently waiting. They're capturing the key building to unlock the main victory point now. This barricade over here is at half strength. We're going to send Ophostos over to the west to take out those units and to hold them back. Meanwhile, Hans Lambda is going to secure this northern point. We're going to put this barricade blocker up as quickly as possible. The reason why I left it open was because in earlier versions of the Siege AI, so long as they had a path, they would avoid the barricade blockers and not tear them down. But that's not the case now. They've learned. The AI has evolved and adapted. And unfortunately, we won't be able to get this barricade up. But Hans Lambda is in the battle. He is going to start tearing apart those bloodletters as long as he can. He's going to hold them back as much as he can. Meanwhile, Ophostos is going to try and hold this barricade as long as he can as well. Try and do as much damage as he can to the Cornate worshippers to keep them back. Our right flank now is going to tear apart the enemy. And is going to the barricade's already fallen, so they're going to now start trying to rush in and capture the capture point as we try and hold on. Alright, so, sorry about that. I was receiving a text message. The barricades have fallen. The enemy is now sallying into the settlement. We're going to try and get our boys out of that brawl. We're going to send Aphostos into the center choke point there to hold it as long as he can. I'm going to speed it up here now because you've already seen Hans Lambda and Aphostos work. But I think you can already smell out what's happening. You can see now here how frustrated we are. We can't get into our own settlement because we can't destroy our own settlement. If this was a normal siege or if it worked as intended, we would be able to take these bone golems, tear this down in 5 seconds, and have Snippy out there clipping Chaos Warriors in half. Aphostos is holding the front line. Hans Lambda is trying to hold the rear. Unfortunately, with us contesting it, we are not able to have enough troops on the victory point, and the Coronate Worshippers are able to tear this settlement from our grasp and kick us out. Alrighty, gang, a very frustrating siege indeed. Very frustrating. We killed Skarbarand, but his forces were able to snake around the settlement. We can't destroy our own allied walls, so we weren't able to actually get our forces inside. If we had Nagash and the rest of our forces inside, that battle would have been a decisive victory. But now we get pushed off of our settlement. They decide to take it for themselves. And we are going to see, man, Skarbarand has been the biggest pain in the neck. I was expecting more out of like the Skaven or the Orcs or maybe even the Tomb Kings, but they just turned into a wet fart. Skarbarand, though, he's something else. I can't wait to actually destroy his faction and get him off the board. We see the High Elves now pushing in on our settlement. We're just going to hold Nagash. We're going to lose the Desolation. Unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbles on this campaign. Turns out this is more of a survival campaign than an actual undead horde that I was expecting it to be. The Hunters of Kurnus, Dada, he's going to run off. We're going to have... Let's see. He's in forced march stance, so we can get rid of him pretty quick. I kind of want to get Archon and his army of chaff back to Numos to start recolonizing our torn up settlements. Meanwhile, Manfred with his army is going to chase Dada. Yep, quick auto resolve, and he is gone. He took 34 skeletons with him. And that is them dealt with. Thank the Lord Almighty, he is gone. Alright. Khemri's got an unusual location. Let's see what's up with that. They have Abandoned Forge of Hashut, plus 25 Chaos Undivided. That's going to be unfortunate for us. That costs 2,000 to get rid of. We can afford that right now. It gives us a Kadai Destroyer. Relations with the Chaos Dwarves by plus 10. Gives units recruited in this province a permanent 20 armor bonus. And a chance to forge a unique item when fusing together. You know, we might actually keep that, because if we can keep the control under wraps, because, alright, where is a settlement that has an insane amount of chaos corruption? Do we have one? Or no, let's look at Nagash Guard, because it's under like the same scrutiny here. Yeah, hostile corruption is only minus 10%. Or minus 10 control a turn. So I think we're good. I believe we're good. So we're going to take... Yeah, well, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. And besides, it gives Khemri a Kadai Destroyer. Which, if you don't know, Kadai Destroyers are absolutely legendary single-entity monsters from the Chaos Dwarves. We might if you guys like watching more of this Total War content, we might look at doing a Chaos Dwarfs faction campaign. We'll see. But we're gonna march Numas up. We still can't colonize you. Why can't we colonize you? We're gonna repair Qatar. Archon's gonna garrison it. We're gonna upgrade the Great Obelisk of Khemri because it's so cheap. We're gonna take Nagash and we're gonna tear down these Khornate armies here. They're gonna run away, and this is gonna be a legendary battle right here. We got 2 stacks, lots of Khornate units, 2 blood shrines, magical chariots, a whole slew of forces, just the perfect amount of casualties. We're going to take a quick autosave, and we're going to fight this battle. This is going to be the last defense of the Khornate factions. This is their 2 biggest stacks. If we get rid of these guys, they're done for. Hopefully. I will see you all on the battle map. Alrighty, gang. We got kicked out of Gorgazan, but the fight is not over. The Black Pyramid looming in the background. Nagash himself overseeing the battle. We have split our army into 3 sections here. We have one holding the left flank, one that's going into the center choke point here. Look at that. Nagash is back. Very, very terrifying indeed. He's going to heal up Aphostos and Hans Lamdus as they did a lot of heavy lifting in that last battle. They are heavily damaged. Like I said, we are going to break off into the left flank here with Virion the Grim and a few Bone Gums and some Nagash Guard with halberds. We're going to set up the center there with Nagash in to support with Nagash Guard halberds and Bone Gums, and we're going to take the right flank with Steinberg von Deal, another section of Nagash Guard, this time with swords, Bone Gums, and the Scythe Skeleton Reapers. We have a unit in the back just in case they decide to summon in a unit of Bloodletters to attack our artillery. Our artillery, meanwhile, is going to engage, and the battle has been joined. Nagash is going to use one of those bound spells. He's going to use Banishment and tear through the enemy forces. Meanwhile, Hans Lambda is going to land and get stuck in. Look at that damage right there. We are ripping through them. Our Nagash Guard is going to do excellent work against those Blood Beasts of Khorne. They are anti-large after all. We are going to rip them a new one. Meanwhile, the right flank is going to be engaged. It's split up into 2 groups. We're going to have Aphostos, He's going to help with the Bloodletters, the Khornate halberds, because they are doing damage to our Skeleton Reapers. Our Skeleton Reapers are doing their best, but they are taking a lot of damage very quickly. Meanwhile, over here, Steinberg von Deal has got stuck, and he is ripping those Bloodletters and Exalted Bloodletters in twain with each strike of his sword. Meanwhile, the enemy reinforcements have arrived, and they're going to be running towards the battlefield. We're going to turn our artillery to face them, and they're going to be the first salvo. Meanwhile, Snippy's going to come around this left flank here. He's going to finish up. The main force has given up. They are running away. Besides this right flank here needing to be mopped up, Hans Lambda is going to focus on taking out that enemy of Baradon. As the enemy tries to rush in, their Khornate Herald is going to charge our artillery units. I forgot that our artillery was set to hold fire, so we're gonna fix that here really quickly. Pardon me. Business interactions here. I'm sorry. Nagash is helping out with the final defense over here on the right flank. Meanwhile, battle is going to join in the center. Look at that. Bone Golems are going to be ripping apart those Khornate halberds. Their Chaos Furies have now engaged, absolutely swarming us. Virion the Dim, completely unbothered. He's going to be cleaving those little Furies into pieces. Meanwhile, their Bloodhounds of Khorne are going to be getting around the flank. They're going to try and do a flanking charge on our boys while we are distracted. Look at that charge. Doing some damage, sending our Nagash Guard flying. Marauders of Khorne are running. They are done. Nagash himself now smiting that enemy lord. Our Nagashishar guard are going to keep holding against the... Oh my goodness, did you see that Herald of Khorne? He just absolutely impaled one of those guardsmen with his sword. Look at that. Oh my good heavens, that man is dead once more. We're going to try and send Ophostos out to support. He is going to show these Nagashishar guard how to truly kill a Chaos Lord. We're going to use a siphon because our troops are starting to get brugged down. They got those battle chaplains on those chariots. They got Forsaken spawns. They're just a flood of troops. We are definitely in it to win it now. Meanwhile, Nagash himself is marching in. He's going to do as much damage as he can, towering over the battlefield, absolutely wrecking house. Look at that, just shredding these undead demons. Going to tell them what the real meaning of undeath is. Snippy himself is getting stuck in on the right flank. He's going to be an anchor point for us, tearing apart those bloodletters as he digs through the sands, doing what he does best. We're going to bring in reinforcements. We have a few units to mop up here on the rear. We're going to bring in reinforcements here, and as casualties are starting to mount, the Chaos bloodletters are going to berserk and start to crumble. They're binding. They've lost connection with the warp. They are going to start being cast out of the mortal coil. Meanwhile, these spawn of Khorne, of course, are unbreakable. They're going to fight to the last man. Absolutely filthy creatures. And we are going to continue to tear them to pieces. We summoned a Reaper unit from one of their fallen comrades. Look how foul these creatures are. Nasty, nasty creatures indeed. We are the exterminator squad here, cleaning up house. That lord there, the bloodletter, has fallen. The Herald of Khorne, sorry, and the last of the enemy forces have been destroyed. Skarbarand has been sent back. Nagash has been vindicated for Gorgazan. Alrighty, gang. What a brutal battle that was. We almost lost Snippy. Very dangerous indeed. But for the most part, our army came out of that unscathed. And the enemy army, I cannot say the same. They only have a pittance of a force left. Only about a handful of Khornate warriors. Absolutely destroyed. We are going to get Nagash more Winds of Magic because that is his bread and butter. We have absolutely annihilated the forces here. Now the only thing left is a small handful of Khornate soldiers up in the north, and we can turn Nagash's attention to the sunken Karnak, finish Malagor the Dark Omen and his horde, kill those guys, and then we can start looking at it moving east to support to finish off the war against the High Elves in the mountains. Unfortunately, the Desolation of Nagash will fall because, you know, Emmeric's got a Sun Dragon. I believe he's also on his dragon as well. Yeah, he's got a Star Dragon, so there's quite a few dragons in that army. We're going to have to defend Nagashishar with our best troops. I think what we'll do is, that's kind of a little expensive. I don't know if we should do that just yet, and besides, it's going to take too long. We're just going to have to hope that this huge garrison will be enough to deter the enemy forces. Our garrison itself is pretty beefy. Got a lot of good Nagashishar guard units, plus an insane amount of archers. Those archers are going to be essential for tearing down the enemy forces before they reach our walls. But we're going to turn Nagash's attention over to the east now. He's going to start marching towards the sunken Karnak and take revenge on Malagor the Dark Omen. But we do have a skill point. We have a skill point for all our heroes. They've been doing quite well for themselves. Okay. The Fate of Flesh. Leadership's aura size plus 100%. Character aura leadership effect plus 5%. That'll be very useful. We want to keep Nagash in his his mob of undead. I think instead of getting another book in Nagash, what we'll do is we'll get the Undying Horde up to plus 20% to get our troops' replenishment rate as max as possible, because Nagash is going to be fighting battle after battle after battle like you saw just there, and we need to make sure his troops are in tip-top shape as much as possible. His elite troops in enemy territory, or unoccupied territory, are going to take a few turns to replenish. You can see there that the bar is pretty slow on the uptick. Aphostos has now leveled up. He's got 2 points. We're going to give him Heroic Killing Blow so he can be more killy against heroes. We're going to increase his Wound Maker so he can do more damage. In fact, it would probably be a good idea to give these guys... Yeah, give these guys more magical items. I love the Talisman of Endurance, but I think we're going to save that for Hans Lambda, since he's definitely been getting into it. We're going to give him Heroic Killing Blow as well. Make sure he's as boofy and strong as we can make him. And then the best part about the Talisman of Endurance is that 8% ward save is nothing to write home about, but the plus 25% battle healing cap. Because if you noticed in that little sneaky Coronate Siege, our boys' healing cap was fast approaching no matter how much we tried to re-heal them. So we need to make sure we can heal them as much as possible. Meanwhile, Steinberg von Deal. We're going to give Steinberg von Deal a... I think we're going to give you Blade Shield. Deadly Onslaught, it does a decent amount for 31 seconds, but I think overall, giving you more melee defense will make you last in the battle a heck of a lot longer. That's his movement. Now we are on to Krell, Mortarch of Despair. We're going to send him over to Granti Mingol. We're going to capture that settlement, auto-resolve that real quick. We're going to loot and occupy, get some cash off of him. We're going to heal that back up. Tier 1 settlement, nothing to write home about. Just going to get as much money as we can. Killed Borodin. Now that's those two armies dealt with. Let's look at our army tab now that we're on so many fronts. We've done everything except move Geneve. Geneve is slowly getting through. This is Blackfire Pass. If you don't know, it's a famous battle that there's a lot of famous battles here. This is like the go-to invasion point that the orcs take to invade the Empire. And as you can see, the Empire is not in a very good, not in good shape. Vlad von Karstein has been busy being the one true emperor of the Empire. Vlad von Karstein is sent a lot, has sacked a lot of the south. I'm curious to see if Nuln has been defeated. I think instead of annexing Vlad, it'll be better for us, more fruitful for us, to leave him to cause as much destruction and chaos as he can in the north. It'll be in our best interests, that is. We finally upgraded Khemri a little bit, so now we can get the Black Legions, weapon strength plus 10% for Nehekara warriors and chariot units. Nehekara warriors being the dual sword units that Archon commands. We're gonna upgrade that and make sure that's good to go. Yes, can we do any diplomacy here? Quick deal. No one wants a non-aggression pact. No one wants a trade agreement. No one wants military access. Yes. The Harbingers of Disaster will get a peace treaty with us. That might be useful, but they are more likely than not to attack again, unless we can secure... No, that's not worth it. 1,000 gold for a temporary peace. I'd rather just kill them off right. We can get more money from the battle we fight against them than anything else. That is Khorne's last settlement. So these two armies right here, the Raging Beasts led by he doesn't have a name, unfortunately. My UI doesn't want to tell me his name. His name's not important. We got the Raging Beasts here. That has a few scatterings of units.
Should I take stock of your worth?
Oh, you can. But Pav here is the only army that really poses a threat against us with his legendary hero. So he has to find a settlement before his units die off from attrition. And the closest they can get
Would you
to,
stake your soul thus?
they can march to the sunken Krenok or they can die. Oh, I forgot. There's another army of Mazradon, and that's a lot of heroes. But Krell himself is extremely tanky. He's got 98 melee attack, 83 melee defense, 705 weapon strength, 120 armor. I think that dude can single-handedly take out this stack of heroes right here. I think he can do it. I have faith in him. Unfortunately, our Endless Tomb, as you saw in that battle against the Wood Elves, was not very effective. It's one of those things you have to keep in your back line, and because we misused it, we now have to wait for it to recharge. Kind of unfortunate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles here. Can we look at Vladiboy? Vladiboy. Sylvania. 24 settlements. Strength rank 2.
Welcome.
He loves us.
By my side, and let us discuss mutually beneficial matters.
He does not want a defensive alliance because of baseline evaluation. If we make ourselves stronger, he might consider it. Currently, he is at war with the dwarves, and it looks like his home province of Castle Drakenhof is under threat. He's got a decent-sized garrison. Castle Drakenhof is no slouch, and especially since he's on Tier 4 settlement with, I believe... Does he have defensive buildings? No, I don't think he does. But, I mean, that's pretty incredible that the northern border princes and Southern Empire are now just his. So we are going to, with our 8,000 gold, we currently have Khemri being upgraded. The former site of the Black Pyramid, we can upgrade you with military buildings. I don't think we need them. We might later, if our economy improves, which 479 gold is the most I've seen per turn for us for a while now. We might look at upgrading the walls later on when we get a better income, but right now we need to make sure that we get as much as we can in terms of income. We could improve Manfred, but not yet because he's not encamped, unfortunately. Archon is at the horde level I want him to be at right now. And that's going to be the end of the turn. We're going to see what the enemy does. I'm very curious to see how Khorne's going to handle this. Yep, he is currently sieging us. Pav is moving to the west. They're all moving to the west, looking for a territory to claim. That'll make it easier to swat them down. Hopefully finish these guys off. They're currently besieging... Excuse me. They're currently besieging the Desolation of Nagash. Not doing anything yet. I wonder if... They're probably waiting on towers. Aha! Vlad von Karstein wants a defensive alliance. Very well. We will get that. And now we can see the full extent of his territory. Okay. So, lots of... lots of dwarves in the north. The Empire's not doing too well for themselves. Clan Angrund owns Nuln. That's unfortunate. Elisif von Draken, the one legendary lord the Empire has with the Amethyst Armory, which is dark magic imbued bullets and gunpowder, has fallen, it would seem. Elisif von Draken is unable to defend the Southern Empire against the undead horde. That'll be good for us. Well, we now have a decent vampire empire securing our north. We shall use them to great effect to secure our northern border. But yeah, as you can see, Vlad owns the entire province of Sturland, Averland, Solund. He's halfway up Visenland. Oh, Elisif von Draken is alive.
Ballerina and known.
Whoa, how many settlements does she have? She has 4 settlements. And Karl Franz has 10 settlements. Unfortunate. It doesn't look like the Empire is doing too well in this campaign. They usually don't. They have a lot of legendary lords in and around their territory. If a human player is not interjecting, then the Empire is pretty weak. Azag the Slaughterer owns the last piece of our crown. If you don't know, Azag is the one smartest orc. He's called the Slaughterer because at one point in time the Empire sent an army against him and he just raffle stomped them to oblivion. The orcs are known to just charge at us and go fighting. So the fact that they don't is kind of crazy. Oh, I completely forgot. The Silver Pinnacle. We could probably invest in that a little bit. And I'm so sorry, guys. Neferatta is back. She is seeking vengeance for her defeat against the evil, smelly, stinky greenskins. So she's going to help defend the Silver Pinnacle for right now and muster her strength. We're going to upgrade the Silver Pinnacle as well. Get that up a tier, get more gems, get our income going. That'll be a good spot for more income for our legions. Meanwhile, Nagash, you're gonna march against the Raging Beasts. They're in march stance, so they can't run away. We're gonna auto-resolve them to oblivion. Got 1,700 bucks from them. We're gonna keep getting those winds of magic up. We want to make sure he's as magical, as magical as possible. A little fairy princess, this one with his bone wings and all that evil nonsense. We can upgrade our heroes again. We are going to continue down. And I think for Hans Lambda, we're going to get you more Blade Shield. Make it so that you're tougher to hit. Same thing with Von Deal, another part of Blade Defense. Pav is going to be curious to see where he goes. Nagash is going to keep marching towards Malagar. Krell is under siege by Mazradon. It's a Pyrrhic victory. This is going to be the last battle of the episode. We are going to see how well Krell can hold out against a Khornate horde. Lots of heroes, not very many units. We are going to fight an open field. It's a choke point, actually. That'll be easier for us. Narrow down their troops into a small funnel and kill them. Lots of Graveguard in this army. Lots of Graveguard. Hopefully we can keep them. Hopefully they don't disintegrate. I will see you all on the battle map for one last time. Alrighty, gang, welcome back to the battlefield. This green putrid smoke here was because we had 2 bloated corpses in the garrison, but unfortunately because their health was so low they decided to detonate. Unfortunate game mechanics striking us as we least suspected. But in this battle, Krell is showcasing his might against 3 Chaos Heroes of Khorne. They have 3 units to their disposal. We have a horde of Graveguard with sword and shield and with great sword. We have a unit of skeleton spearmen covering our left flank. Excuse me. We got Nagash guard with sword and board on our right flank. We are going to show Mazradon, Mazirandron, the plight of standing against Nagash. Of course, this is a defensive battle, so we have to win this or the settlement is lost, but I think we're going to do alright. They've abandoned this left flank here from the garrison. Scylla is going to march over to the right, our old nemesis Scylla. And of course, we have as well the one, the only, Scar Bloodwrath the Coward. He is going to do what he can in this battle as well. Meanwhile, our boys are going to chase him. Scylla is going to run away. He does not want to get involved in this fight on the left flank by himself, so he's going to go with his friends. Meanwhile, Mazaradron is going to sit pretty, and we are going to start charging our boys across the field. We're going to get ready for this charge as both sides clash in the middle of this choke point, this ford. And as battle is joined, blood is spilt. we're going to hopefully do what we can. These Graveguard are pretty tanky. Meanwhile, Skillia, towering over our forces, is going to absolutely wreck house. Krell, meanwhile, is getting stuck in the center. He is going to get ganged up on by all three of the lords. And you can see really quickly, I got kind of nervous. He is losing a lot of health very quickly. But we have one trick up our sleeve with Krell. If you look at Krell's spells, you will see he has Repair through Disrepair, which, when an enemy is wavering, he receives a burst of life-saving hit points and causes severe damage to nearby wavering units. We will see that Hex ability pop up very soon indeed. Bloodwreath is now one-on-one against Krell. Look at this engagement here. Unfortunately, it seems the AI is much better at targeting heroes than we are. I'm trying to focus down these heroes one after the other and do as much damage as we can. But, of course, you know, Krell just wants to kill the little underlings too. This duel right now, look at that, fart gas kicking off. Very nasty stuff. Krell, fortunately, doesn't have nostrils, so he'll be alright. And there we go, that Repair through Disrepair. You can see how close he was to dying. He was already breaking, and look how much damage he's doing to the nearby foes with that ability. Sundering their armor as well as he goes. Scar Bloodwreath is tired of this. He's going to run away once more. Bravely, Sir Robin ran away. Krell was going to try and kill him, but we're going to focus down the big nasty monster here before he can do any more damage to our forces. Getting whacked on the bum with the dual axe, or great axe, is not exactly the most comfortable thing, and he's going to go down for a forever nap. The last unit standing now is, of course, these Brutes of the Hound, Marauder Berserkers, because as you saw in the battles we faced before against them, they are unbreakable. But, abandoned by their comrades, we're going to see whether or not they... Oh. Now, Skillia has gone down for his forever nap. I don't know what the deal was with that. But now these Bloodhound Berserkers are on their last leg. There is about 14 of them left, holding their ground. Is it 14? 11. Slowly counting down. Kind of bizarre that they're talking about Slaanesh, even though Khorne hates Slaanesh, but, you know. People can have multiple vices. With that, the enemy has been seen off, and victory is ours. An outstanding performance by Krell, taking on a 3-1 and surviving. Not only surviving, but slaying a few of the heroes as he goes. Very impressive. Looking forward to him in full power in the future. And we're going to see the consequences of this on the campaign map. Alrighty. So, that is the end of that. Scar Bloodwreath somehow managed to survive and has ran away, brave Sir Robin once more. Maybe we can chase him down. We shall see. Krell is going to, chase him down. Now it's Blood Pierce. We're going to annihilate this force. We lost more than they did, but that's okay. We're going to get some more gold here. We're going to run him back to Grunty Mingol. And while he sits there, we're going to upgrade. We're going to upgrade. Get the growth, get the income, get all that lovely. Get him up to tier 2 on his horde building. We have one skill point. We're going to see what we can give him. He took a lot of damage from those heroes really quickly. Kind of scared me for a minute there. But we saw his Repair through Despair ability that absolutely saved his keister. I think we're going to give him more hit points. I think that's what he needs. I think he needs to be more tanky. Does he have... He has a full roster of armor and weapons and specialties like that. So we're going to leave him to it. Is there an enchanted item we can give him that's any good? No, we haven't found anything worth it. So that's that. That's good old Krell doing his job. Now Skarbarand only has one army left. Pav. No, you may not. Pav is going to do something. We're gonna see what he does. It might. I might just take Krell, move him down south, and have him engage Pav. I think that's what we'll do. While Nagash deals with Malagor in the east. Archon cannot colonize. None of these territories are colonizable. I wonder when that gets fixed. I hope that gets fixed because this would be very frustrating to lose all that territory over some weird scripting issues. We're 2 turns away. 2 turns away from getting Khemri up to tier 2. That'll be good for us because that means we can upgrade our gold as well. Between that and Silver Pinnacle up in the far north with Neferatta, we should be starting to stay solidly in the green.
Yes, Neferatta was right.
We should be able to also destroy that Nagbad Rockgut and get rid of that raiding that he's doing. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for watching. This is turn 56, turning over to turn 57 of the Legions of Nagash Let's Play. I hope you all enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next episode.